What comes to mind when you think of Mexico? Tacos and cheap prescription drugs. The flag, which I think is a cool one. The yellow filter meme. And good food. The shape of the country in a map. I'm not very good at geography or recalling shapes, but Mexico has a very distinct one. Corner home stores. Blew my mind that people opened up a store in their living room or kitchen. Or OXXO. Got all my snacks there. Edit. Thanks for the love. Glad this resonated with everyone. I spent my summers in Mexico visiting family, and those stores were my lifeline. Loved everything about it and would never trade it for anything. There is this soup I had at someone's house in the middle of nowhere in Mexico, and I think about it all the time. It had hominy and pork, and it was red but not tomatoes. I think it was some kind of pepper broth. It was so good and I will never forget it. Edit. Wow guys, it looks like I'm on a quest now and I have the first clues. Thank you. I'm excited to try to make my own. And I'll make sure to skip the Rachel Ray recipe lol. Tequila. Tacos. Zihuatanejo, it's a little place in Mexico on the Pacific Ocean. Avocados from Mexico. Mexican flag and a glass bottle Coke. Mexicans. Dia de los Muertos. Elote. Mariachi bands. Yellow filter. Putting lime in everything. Mexican Coke and chickens for some reason. Se compra. Lavadora AAAAAS. Microondas. Refrigeradores. Colchones. Best holiday ever. Met up with friends we met the year before in the south of France in San Luis Potosi. Stayed with their families for a week. Grandma made breakfast every morning and we played domino with her every evening. When we left we gave her a book about the Netherlands. Written in Spanish and tears were flowing. Traveled another 2 weeks starting in Mexico City and going to Veracruz, Palenque, Oaxaca, Puerto Escondido and back to Mexico City. Never met friendlier people than Mexicans and the food. Oh my god. So food. Again, best holiday ever. Aztec pyramids. Acapulco and El Chavo del Ocho. Axolotls, I just love those little salamanders. I think of colorful stuff. Piñatas. Spicy food. Sangria. Long wavy black hair. Cool pronunciation. Dia de Muertos. Unbelievably beautiful deep blue crystal clear water filled sinkholes in the Mayan Riviera. Guacamole. My parents. Coco. Axolotls. Now it would be funny as hell to edit the axolotls with drug cartels, cheap prostitutes, or stuff like that, just to mess with 1,000 people that like my comment. But I'm not an asshole. Not so much at least. Really big agave plants and insanely good food. Duendes. Chupacabras. Flautas. Gringos on spring break. Al Pastor. Spent a semester abroad studying in Guadalajara, the second largest city. Coming from Germany, I remember hospitality. Being welcome with open arms. A nice climate plus tasty and affordable food. Thing is, most houses are surrounded with high fences. Made me feel isolated rather than living in an open neighboring community. Also, traffic is the worst in the cities. Takes a crazy amount of time getting from A to B by car or bus, and cycling is quite dangerous as there are almost no bike paths like in Germany. Fruit. My husband pretty much never shuts up about all the wonderful fruit his family had when he was growing up. Avocado. 4 different citrus on one tree. Papaya. Loquats. Mangoes. Tuna. Guayaba. Mame. Pitaya. And pomegranate. Beautiful architecture. Forza Horizon 5. Better tacos, the kind with raw onion and cilantro. Chiahuahua. I visited Mexico for the first time to attend a friend's wedding. It was September and holy hell. I had not, before or after, ever experienced that kind of heat. Over 100 degrees plus humidity. It was hard to be outside even for 5 minutes between the hours of 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. without wanting to take a shower immediately afterwards because you were drenched in sweat. Thank God the wedding took place at sunset because we stayed inside as much as we could to avoid the heat otherwise. So I'll always remember Mexico for the extreme heat and humidity and never, ever again visit there in September. Edit. The city was Cabo San Lucas. Drug cartels. Canson. Family. Riviera Maya. N. Wikipedia. Org. Wiki. Riviera Maya hash. Media. File. Punta Maroma 3. TIFF. I think of the history I learned about while I was there. The incredible lake city of Tenochtitlan. The mysterious ancient pyramids at Teotihuacan. The indigenous Baroque church in Cholula and the nearby pyramid that the Spaniards leveled off and built a church on. A very fascinating history and rich culture. My favorite foods. Been to Mexico 4 times. The food is awesome. Sometimes we went to out-of-the-way little places that were just broken down old buildings. And the food would be amazing, presented in a beautiful way by friendly staff. Such pride. Red, green, white. Best food on the planet. Friendly, warm people who have been screwed over and still have a lot of heart. Great food. Friendly people. I enjoy visiting Mexico as often as I can. Agricultural workers. I live in wine country, so they really make up a large portion of our population. You see them picking grapes, landscaping, selling fruit on the side of the road, and working in the restaurants. Heat. Murder. Tacos. Spicy food. Brandon Moreno. Riviera Maya. My favorite place on earth. I used to go every year to an all-inclusive resort. Beautiful place, scenery, water, and love the Mayan architecture. Most beautiful country I've ever been to. Rainforest and beaches, natural coves and an excellent weather. Would highly recommend. From an English dude where the weather is sit. Mexico 1986, my first World Cup memory. Real tequila doesn't come from the big names of manufacturers but the small ones who make or break their careers on their reputation. The big companies will always make you feel like sit with a sit hangover. A true tequila tastes smooth with little to no hangover. Are you a Mexican or a Mexicant? Affordable dental work. First, the flag, then, the city where my mom grew up, which I visited at least once every other year before COVID. Lastly, Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl. Mexico. Eternally thankful to them for inventing Mexican cuisine. That song from Red Dead Redemption, when you first ride a horse there. That I can afford a rooftop terrace apartment with a view of the ocean. Eat out every day of the week. Can go to the emergency room and spend less than $40. Talk to beautiful women in bikinis on the beach. I can see the latest movies in English and both Costco and Sam's Club are within walking distance. And I can do all of that on Social Security and still put a couple hundred in savings account every month. Chorizo I like it a bit burnt but holy shit it's good. Danny Trejo. Scowling at a stranger in town. Pyramids. Bright colors and hospitable people. Walking up the stairs coming out of the subway to see the enormous flag waving over Plaza del Scalo in the wind and the sound of indigenous music playing. Immediately? The very first thing that came to my mind, when I read this question, was the shape of the right edge of Mexico, curving around the Gulf of Mexico, and how I think it's kind of an odd or unique shape. After that, I thought about the temperature that I assume it would be in Mexico. I live in Florida, in the US, which I find unbearably warm. So I thought about how Mexico would probably be even warmer, since it's a bit lower, closer to the equator. Those two things, the coastline and heat, caused me to imagine a landscape with palm trees, which led to wondering what sorts of trees would be common in Mexico. And an interesting answer, but an honest one. Yanette Garcia. My family because I am Hispanic. Beautiful landscape, amazing food, colorful flowers, handsome men. Mexican food. Speedy Gonzalez. Joy. The movie Coco. Food, music, colors, family. Old women selling delicious baked goods on a beach for like 25 cents. All of the beautiful and humble people I've met who shared their homes and hearths with us. The people so far removed from stereotypes and yellow movie filters that you forget you are in a country that you are supposed to disdain. Proud people. Real people. Many of whom are making do with so much less than me. Mexico is one of the most beautiful countries I have ever seen, and it is only occasionally punctuated with the ugliness that Hollywood and politics crams down our throats. Viva Mexico. Super Troopers. You boys like Mexico, ooh. The word. Mexico. That mouse. Speedy Gonzalez? My mom's side of the family who lives in the country. Hector. Sombreros.